I'm Francis Otieno Monde. Was born in Oyugis, raised in Oyugis, and then I went to school in a public primary school called Kasimba Primary School in Oyugis, and after that proceeded to Oriwo Boys High School. Though due to school fee challenges, I wasn't able to finish school at Oriwo Boys. I ended up going to a school called St. Peter's, Otieno, where I sat for my KCSE. And after that, I proceeded to Mount Kenya University in Thika, where I pursued a diploma in journalism and mass communication, because that is something I was so passionate about. And then before my graduation, then I landed a job as a teacher at Nyali Integrated Academy, that's in Nyali, Mombasa. I was teaching ICT, English grammar and history, year 9, 10 and 11. I volunteer a lot. I also sit on the board of an organization called Wings of Hope Rescue Home. It's a rescue center for girls, basically teenage mothers in the slums. And I'm also a Rotaractor. I belong to the Rotaract Club of Thika Community Based in Thika. And that's basically who I am. And I also do events planning and organizing, because at the end of the day, what I do in terms of charity, okay, we don't pay volunteers currently, so what I do in terms of charity, I have to supplement with other income sources so as to be able to at least also support what I do and also be able to support myself. So I also do events planning and organizing. I do photography on the side, and once in a while I'm invited to moderate talks, and then I'm paid for it, yeah. This is Tasia Slum. This is where I come every so often to provide kids with a daily cup of uji. Cup of uji basically is something that started, I had gone to a school, that is back where I was born. I was born in Oyugis in Homa Bay County. So I had gone to this school where by then it was mud walled. And I found most of the children just sleeping around under the trees. That was way back in 2011. So I asked the administration what was wrong with the children, but I was told most of them had come from backgrounds where they were orphans, and they were staying with their grandparents, and the grandparents didn't have something like economic-wise, they didn't have something that could really sustain them. So they wouldn't be able to get the 3 square meals a day. So I started thinking of what could I do? By then I was still in campus, so I was like, what could I do with my personal resources to help that situation? So I went back and I was thinking about having lunch for the children, but lunch was going to be quite expensive. I wasn't going to be able to afford lunch because I was thinking of rice and beans. So then that is when the idea of uji clicked. I was like, uji was something that I could afford, because I would, basically when I started, I would just go to the market, buy maize, the white one, and then go grind, and then I take to the school. So by then I started with the ECD children, like baby class, pre-unit and nursery, because that is all that I could afford by then. So that is how the journey started for me, and that was because I have always loved children from when I was young. So when I found that, and I found there's something that could change, make an impact in their lives, help them concentrate in class, and help them at least fight some short-term anger, so that was quite something that really motivated me to do that. While growing up, I can remember at the age of 5, what I would do is that I loved this chipo thing. So I would ask my parents to at least give me some few coins to go and buy, people call them chipo mwitu. And then I would go and disappear for some time and come back and tell them that, oh, I've already taken the chipo, disappear for 2 hours. So basically what I was doing, I was saving that money, because I was passionate about kids by then. I would go to church, and then if I hear a baby crying, I would struggle. At the age of 5, I would struggle to try and carry them, though they were heavier than me. So after saving that money, every Friday was actually a market day. So I would go to the market, look for baby clothes. By then, baby clothes were so very cheap. Select a few and then go back with it. So the house help would I would do a collab with the house help. I would be like, can you please wash them for me, but make sure no one sees them because there's no baby in this house and I need them to be washed. So after they had been washed, I would wrap them in a newspaper and then every Sunday put them in a green polythene bag and then head to church. The good thing is, no one took note of me carrying the green polythene bag. So that one, I was lucky one because no questions were asked about that. So once I reached the church service would just go on as normal. But my motivation by then was like, I would carry some of the babies, though I was also kind of a baby because I was 5. But the babies had those that didn't have clothes. So that was my motivation to go and at least get them some clothes. So when people were saying the last prayer, I would rush to the altar, drop my bag because I knew automatically the pastor would find some women whose babies didn't have clothes. I'm taking you to Beyond the Vision School, which is in Tasia slum, where we basically feed kids every day with a daily cup of uji, Monday to Friday. We're going to have fun also with them. We do fundraising, we fundraise, we raise funds online, and we also talk to a few companies to try and support us with porridge flour. So once we get the porridge flour, we buy, and then we come to the schools, we supply them with the porridge flour so that at least the kids can enjoy a daily cup of uji. Mambo, habari ya asubuhi. Uko mgonjwa ama? Uko sawa? Nikuota tu jua. Mbona unalia? Analia nini? Uko poa? Asante. So we are here at the Beyond the Vision School, and we have children from the ages of baby class to class 8. So we are getting into the school so that we get to meet the children and also serve them porridge. Mkaje? Vizuri. Mwalimu anafundisha subject gani? Mnasoma nini sahi? Hii ni gani? Oh, mnafanya mtihani? With our Cup of Uji initiative that provides daily cup of porridge to the children, what we basically do is to we have 5 schools. Wangapi wanajua jina yangu? Naitwa nani? Mwamkaje? Hii ni class 1 and 2. Mwalimu ameenda wapi? Ayuko. Here we are at Beyond the Vision School. We have another one called Fikisha Street Boys Center, which is actually a drop-in center for street boys in Kawangware slums. We have Balozi School in Kawangware slums. We have Kasimba Primary School in Homa Bay County and Nyatwere Primary School in Homa Bay County, where also kids receive a daily cup of porridge every single day at 10 a.m. Ati wewe ni mdogo. Uko sure wewe ni mdogo? Now let me take you to where we have our kitchen, where we normally prepare our porridge. And here is the kitchen. This is Anne. She's normally the cook here. She's more than a cook. She's a mother to these kids. When they come every morning, she asks them how they spend their night and they get to share with her. And for the little ones who sometimes spend the night without something in their tummies, the extremely tiny ones, the ones in baby class, she makes sure that she has a little bit of porridge early enough, earlier than the 10 a.m. so that they can be able to also benefit from the same they can drink before they go to class. And now this is the uji, and it's getting ready for kids at 10 a.m. so that they can be having their uji. And normally what we do is basically to give porridge flour and sugar, and we do the supplies every month to the schools, the various schools. This is just one of the 5 schools that we supply with porridge flour and sugar so that they can give children uji at 10 a.m. every morning. We have children from baby class to class 8, mostly primary school children. And what we basically do is that we look at schools where a big majority of the children are less privileged. They come from less privileged backgrounds where they cannot even afford 3 square meals a day, and then we go into such schools, we check the condition, and we get to, after doing that needs assessment, then we start the Uji program within those schools. Now, what we basically do is that we walk into the schools, because mostly you find like people recommend. Someone tells you like, there's a school somewhere, they might really need, the children might really benefit from Uji. So we first of all go and check whether that is something that can really work and help the children. So what we basically do is we ask the administration of the school, the statistics in terms of how many, because some schools we have where we have a big majority of them are orphans, they don't have parents, and then some now they come from extremely poor backgrounds. So that is basically what we try and do in terms of doing a needs assessment for the schools. Once we select a school, we don't select children like children within the school. These ones will be the ones receiving the Uji, and then the others will be remaining out. What we basically do is we give the whole school from baby class to class 8. We don't now select, like put others aside, and then others we say now these ones can receive. So it is just the whole school. Sasa mambo sasa ni sasa kwaji mnacheza game gani leo? Mnacheza game gani? Wapi game yenye tunacheza? Wapi ball? Wapi ball? Kwani watu wachezi ball? Okay, currently what we've done, because we are not having like all that resources to reach out to every school in the country, but we currently have like five schools, and those 5 schools have a total of like 1,530 children currently, and we hope to reach more. We are hoping like we could include all public primary schools and also primary schools within the slum setup, so that they can also benefit from it, because we see the benefit of that in their daily lives and even in their education. Ebu mulika niona. Hujatengeneza. Ametengeneza kweli? Ilianguka nikatengeneza. Wapi betri yake? Iko? We are targeting to reach at least 10,000 students by 2020. So we hope it's a target that is achievable, because we believe like people can come on board, companies can come on board, and then they just help us like in terms of doing their CSR and support the program, so that we have as many as possible benefiting from the program. Sometimes the thing is, when we go to schools, the administration really welcomes the idea. The parents are really so happy about it. You meet them anywhere and they're like, you're really helping us like in terms of getting the kids at least something to have in their tummies in the morning. But the challenge has been like sometimes you go to certain schools, and then there are also politicians from given areas, and they're like, any type of development in a community will always get some kind of opposition from a certain section of politicians, because they are feeling like the locals will be empowered in a way, and so they will make independent decisions. So when you're doing something that maybe they have been using to campaign with, then they will feel like it's a threat to them and things like that. So there are times where local politicians have tried to like fight the program, but we've sat down with the schools and the communities, and they have managed to sit down and say, no, you are not going to do this to this program because it is benefiting the kids in this way. Yeah, we have other things that we do. Aside from Uji is just the main thing, but we also do a program that is called Girls Dignity, that actually provides monthly centers to currently 150 school girls every month. We have a mentorship program for boys in primary schools. We have currently like 25 boys in that program, which is called Boy Child Remembered, because the boys were complaining about being left out. And we also have a scholarship program. We currently have like 6 students in high school and 1 student in campus who we sponsor. Like we take care of their tuition, we take care of their every other need that they might have in school. 60 minus 10. We've been able to see like they are recording marked improvement in their academics. They're able to participate actively in class. at least they won't be crying too much around, because there's nothing in the stomach. And so, and even health-wise, you would be able to see, like, after a given period of time, the number of cases where a child falls sick reduce, and then absenteeism is almost zero in the schools that we support, because the kids look forward to, if you go to school, they know that if they go to school, they will be able to get the uji. So once they don't go to school, then they will miss out on the uji. So they make sure they go to school at least to be able to get the uji. Hii njaa yenyu ya leo ni kali. Njaa ya watu wakubwa imekuwa kali leo. At Beyond the Vision School, there are over like 150 children, though we have other schools as well. But for this particular school, they are slightly above 150 who receive porridge every day, Monday to Friday. Welcome at 10 a.m. Yes. Oh, you don't have a cup? So initially we would give cups, but the cups would go missing. So we decided to let the children come with their own cups from home, because at least they will have a sense of responsibility in terms of ensuring the cups are clean. Because when you give them in school, what they will do is once they are done, they will just come, throw it there, and then because they believe someone will take the initiative to wash them and make them clean. So at least they are learning some bit of responsibility by coming with them from home. For Beyond the Vision School, there are well-wishers who give them lunch, as we do the uji. But for the other schools, the other 4 remaining schools, they don't have lunch. So after uji, there is no any other meal that they have in school. It is only the uji at 10 a.m. in the morning, which at least keeps them going for some time as they study in class. We want to encourage also school enrollment, so that when they go back home, they're able to tell the others who are not going to school to come, because in school at least there is some porridge that they will be getting, and in that way it will be like we are killing 2 birds with 1 stone. We are making them come to school, we are giving them porridge, but at the same time also making sure that as many children as possible are able to come to school and study. Because there are some who are currently just in their houses at home, just doing nothing. So when they hear that there is uji in school, then they will be at least motivated to come, so that they can be able to also study with the rest. Before we started the project, basically there were like slightly above 100. And even in the other schools, like we have a school where we had 500 students. Currently there are 700, and it's quite a strain on our side, but at the same time, if the uji can make them at least come to school, then the better for us, because it's also improving in terms of literacy levels, at least as many as possible, and be able to go to school, access education. Welcome. Welcome. In 2011, we started with the cup of uji. We started providing porridge to approximately 100 ECD children at Nyatswere Primary School in Homa Bay County. And that number now has grown to currently the number that we have reached, which is 1,530 children every single morning receiving uji. So we are hoping to grow the number. Next year, we are hoping to incorporate Silala Primary School in Ganze, Kilifi County, and Mutingiri Primary School in Murang'a County. We would wish that the county government would come on board, especially for the ECD children who who are still under the county government. ECD is still a department that is under the county government. So we would really wish that if they could even take the ECD bit and say they're able to partner in terms of providing porridge to the ECD pupils, we would really appreciate that, because that would be a plus. But for now, we hope that even the national government, because the primary school section is under the national government, then they would just partner, and then we do the program in partnership with the government of Kenya. Yes. How are you? How are you?
Hi.
Very fine, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. What we are thinking about currently is that we want to involve, have as many public primary schools and schools also in slum setups to enjoy the uji, but at the same time we want it to be sustainable. So we are thinking of like even putting up a small restaurant just so that the proceeds can help in sustaining the program, and also thinking of like we are currently trying to engage companies so that they plug into the program and are able to like donate even a few kgs of flour or a few kgs of sugar so that we can be able to have the porridge every day for the children without stopping. Panga line. Watu wanapanga line. Yeye ndiye ameweka kikombe ya kwanza. I started with personal resources, but along the way I've been able to like rope in companies to support, to give at least some small support. We have Arimas Media Limited that gives us like at least 100 kgs of flour, of the porridge flour every month. And we have Unga Limited, who we buy their product. So they have been able to, since May this year, be giving us at least 200 kgs of porridge flour every month. And we have an IC bank that currently are in the process of at least trying to also give us at least some number of kgs of porridge flour every month. So that is what we are working on, and those are the partnerships that we are currently trying to engage in. Doing charity work has never been easy. It's something that you need a lot of grace to go around doing charity work, because sometimes you meet situations that you just feel let down. Either you take donations somewhere and then they are misused. You feel like you are sacrificing your everything, and yet these people are not seeing that you really want the kids to enjoy, and they still mess around with it, whatever you take. So it hasn't been that really easy. And also sometimes people make pledges. Someone tells you, oh, I'll buy like a bale of porridge flour to support the children. All of a sudden, at that time, they go mute, and you have to remain and you have to ensure that the kids at least have porridge every day. So it hasn't been the most, I usually say it's not so much of a glamorous thing because you face challenges every single day. Either some people will talk negatively about what you do, or other people will promise you support, and at the end of the day they don't deliver on that support. And also fundraising is also quite tough, and that is why like companies can just come on board and just give something so as to stop the whole thing of always being on a fundraising mode. So it hasn't been that quite easy. Charity work is not a walk in the park. It needs a lot of patience. It needs a lot of dedication. You have to be so passionate because you have to do it from the heart. So if you're going to do charity stuff, then it has to come all the way from your heart, and you have to really have that heart of serving humanity. And that is when you can be able to do charity work, because you will meet so many challenges. You will find people, you will meet volunteers who just don't want to get down into doing the actual work. They want to come and take selfies, they want to come and just enjoy life, and yet you need to cook the porridge, you need to serve the kids. So it's quite a challenge, and you need patience also with people, because it's not going to be an easy journey. Basically, for those who want to support Kapo Uji, those who want to support what we do, they can actually, there's the Kapo Uji Facebook page, there is Kapo Uji Kenya Instagram page, there is Kapo Uji Kenya Twitter page, and I'm also available on social media as Francis Otieno Amonde, as a page and as an account, and also on Instagram as Francis Amonde, on Twitter at Francis Amonde. And also for those people who can message me, so that if they have like the type of flour that we use, the Familia Pure Wimbi, then they can just message me, and then we be able to pick, or sugar. And for those who feel like they want to just come serve the kids, they can also message and just say, we want to just come and in one of the schools and just serve the children. And there are those who feel like they can donate at least 10 shillings to support Kapo Uji. They can do so using the M-Pesa pay bill number 891300, account number HOPE, H-O-P-E.
We are starting with this book, Americana.
I was really happy because I was thinking, this is a story that has to be told.
I thought it would have been richer to have Obinze not available.
We wasted so much time over the 7 months where nothing was happening.
The narrator you're writing about, or who is narrating the story, is almost mirroring the writer.
Going there.